Massive crowd.
Right on. Hi, everybody. Chris and I are just chatting away, and I realized it's a couple minutes after 4. And welcome, Chris. It's really good to talk to you again and see you again.
Good to see you too, Rod.
I always enjoy our visits and our time together, and it's been too long. You're one of those friends that's like
Long.
you think about them often, and it'd be, oh man, I wonder how could we spend some time together. So here's one way that we can do
Yeah,
it.
there we go. And then COVID world.
In the COVID world, there's a lot of there's
There's
a
a
lot
lot
of
of
these
it.
kind of
This
conversations.
is how people visit now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so true, so true. I I saw that you had produced a new song, and we'll get to that. And it made me curious. And like I said to you in our sort of pre-conversation chat, I really enjoy interviewing artists. I think it's sort of the contemplative side of me, and I really think that I'm not a musician or much of one, anyways. But I would imagine it's sort of a similar process of being open and like the whole creative process. And I want to ask you about that a little bit
Yeah.
later as
Yeah.
well. But I'm curious, I don't know that I've ever discussed this with you, but just about your own artistic journey. Like, what, when do you first remember getting interested in music?
I well, it's interesting. I was just having a conversation with my mom and not but last week, and we were talking about how she had a Simon and Garfunkel album, uh, Bridge Over Troubled Waters, and I remember just like listening to that album and just being so like blown away by the harmonies and the music. And I used to just stand in the living room and sing the songs like The Boxer and Bridge Over Troubled Water. I used to belt them out. And I think I began to fall in love with music at that point. And then I went to a summer camp once, uh, where we had to do a talent show thing, and and I was an off the wall kid, as you can imagine, and and so my counselor was like, we're gonna do an air band, and you're gonna do Lover Boys. Everybody's working for the weekend, and so I got on a jean jacket and I put the sleeves up, and then I sang this song, and everybody went crazy, and I was like, okay, I think I know what I want to do with the rest of my life.
A Star is Born.
A Star is Born. I have a picture of myself in Kiss makeup playing pretend drums, and so ever since I was a kid, I've wanted to be a musician
Oh,
and an
cool.
artist and that kind of thing. So
Yeah. When did you pick up a guitar?
I picked up a guitar when I was 15,
Mm.
15 years old, and once again, it was like the desire to perform that actually pushed my musicianship.
Hmm.
And so I bought my first acoustic guitar, and I think it was like $300. It was like had a plastic back for the guitar geeks watching and listening. It was like an Ovation ripoff. So it and that guitar served me well. I learned Bob Dylan songs and U2 songs, and
Mm.
just some stuff to be able to get up in front of people, to be able to sing
Yeah.
and do that. So
Were
that
those some of
was,
your early influences? Bob Dylan and you
oh
too?
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, Bob Dylan for his poetry, and U2 was definitely like, I can't. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day. Uh, it's like I just can't hide from my U2 roots. Like, it's not as cool to like U2 anymore. They're like the biggest band on earth, and
Yeah.
and everybody thinks of Bono as this big pretentious guy. But I mean,
Right.
when I was 15 and 16 years old, I mean, just I worshiped the ground that U2 walked on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, me too. I mean, I'm a few years ahead of you, but I was probably in my late teens or maybe early 20s when, I first heard Boy and some of those early
yeah,
albums. And yeah, great, great stuff and so different. And
Yeah.
with sort of a social justice edge too, with a bit of a social edge, a big social edge to
Well,
it. Which,
that appealed to me. Like
yeah, me too.
that
Yeah.
kind of thing. As a young guy, I wanted to be different. I wanted to, like they were associated with Amnesty International, and they, did were heavily involved in sort of philanthropic stuff, and even, so the seeds of all that stuff meant a lot to me, and I felt like I could I could relate,
Hmm.
because I wanted to change the world too. You have that piss and vinegar in you to do something, and you see somebody else, and that's doing it in an artistic sense, and I was like, yeah, I'm buying in 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess with them being older and less cool, that just happens, right? We can relate,
Yeah.
or at least I can. You'll always be cool,
No,
but I.
no, 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 no. I remember. I remember when my daughter turned to me one day, and I was, I still was feeling like, hey, I got it. I play music. I'm a cool guy.
Yeah.
She turns to me and she goes, Dad, you know, you're not as cool as you think you are. And I was like, oh,
That was it, huh?
that was it. That was it.
You knew it was over.
I knew I had to like hang up my studs and
Yeah.
my,
Well,
my stuff.
music, I think music has a way of making you feel old. At least it does for me. Like
Yeah.
Kathleen and I will often turn to ourselves and like, do you know who this artist is? Have you ever heard this song? It's like, did we ever think of the day when that would happen? Where before you always knew what the new music was, and there's
Yeah.
also so many artists to keep up with. There just seems to be a ton
This
of artists.
it Music has changed.
Yeah.
The music world has changed tremendously. I mean, if you can think about creating a song, you can create a song.
Mm-hmm.
Like the access to GarageBand, and
Right.
just for your bedroom producers, and there's young people out there who are just creating fantastic music,
Mm-hmm.
but they're just playing around on there. It's almost like a game.
Yeah.
And you can pull these samples down, and you can have access to put your music out into the world now in a way that was, took major dedication to get your music out into the world. So now people just go, well, I'm going to throw it on Spotify,
Yeah.
and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. What was your first recording? Do you recall what that was?
Yeah. The very first recording that I did was still when I was a teenager. Now this is pre sort of major recording budget sort of stuff. I recorded with a friend of mine, Howard Redicop, who his he had a 4-track, and we recorded in his living room. And then, so when I was a teenager, we had bands, sort of punk bands that me and my buddies put together, and I recorded a song uh, for a for a record called "You Call Paul, I'll Call Chris." And we
It's a
we
great
had we had,
name.
we had a fake label that we called Veritable Shrine, and and
That's fun.
that was a lot of fun. And then, you know those band that was kind of like through the early 90s, as kind of grunge was picking up. And
Mm.
then I was in a band called Flywheel, and we did 2 cassettes
Mm-hmm.
in those days.
Yeah.
And then that band broke up, and then I that's when I started playing at the Vineyard.
Right.
So that
Yeah.
was that was the and that's where things got a little more serious.
Yeah, for sure. What were there any? What are some of your? Well, what's one of your bigger milestones along the way? Like what do you consider a artistic milestone for you?
Well, there's lots
Yeah.
and some of them are good, and you look back in retrospect and think, well, maybe some of them were made me think that my britches were bigger than they were.
Oh yeah.
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 So when I was doing the vineyard stuff, of course, getting the opportunity to play with Delirious was probably the biggest thing to start off with.
Oh
And
yeah. Where
then
was that in the CLA parking lot? Did you
yeah,
play at that? Oh, you
that was
opened
at
for
that
them.
show.
Oh
Yeah.
wow, cool.
And so we opened for them there. That was their first time on North American soil.
Yeah.
And
Good old Ian Lovett
yeah, Ian
brought
Lovett.
them to town. Yeah.
So that was interesting.
Yeah.
And then we ended up playing with them a couple more times over the next 2 years.
Oh neat.
And then that mid me think that things were going in a certain direction. But and things did go well in that world for a while.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and then eventually that rocket ship or that airplane landed.
Kind of ran out of gas.
Yeah, it ran out of gas, and kind of I began to look at music differently, look at arts differently, and kind of began to pursue music in a different way. So
Yeah. Tell me about that. How did your outlook change? I mean, I feel like mine has too. Like I don't listen to
yeah,
that. I hardly
yeah,
ever listen to that genre of music anymore. We're talking about worship music. I hardly
yeah,
ever listen to that
yeah,
genre anymore at all.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't listen to that genre anymore. I don't write in that genre anymore.
Yeah.
Not to say that I'm not spiritual
Yeah.
in my writing, but I would definitely say that my perspective has changed dramatically.
Okay, so it's about a bit of a worldview perspective change as well.
Some worldview perspective, but
Yeah.
also just I think I saw that as kind of the way for me to make it in the music industry, and then somehow it didn't feel authentic to me anymore. Like
Oh yeah, yeah,
so I didn't feel like I was being authentic to myself, and I wanted to write outside of the genre. And one of the things that I always was concerned about was that I'd somehow get stuck in the genre, in the worship genre,
yeah, yeah,
and so I purposefully kind of like laid that to rest,
yeah,
and I started an alt country band
yeah.
called Old Mare.
Old Mare.
And that was where I began to go, oh, okay, I can still write passionate songs. I can still, but it had more of a creative element to it, where I find that worship genre just kind of, I felt pigeonholed.
Yeah, pigeonholed. And would you agree that it hasn't really changed a lot? Like it's kind of same track.
Yeah,
Like it hasn't
yeah.
evolved a ton, really.
I think that there's probably people within that scene who are doing good work. I just don't know who they are, because I'm not really involved in it anymore.
Yeah.
But I will say this: there is a guy by the name of John Mark Mcmillan who he is. I've heard some good songs by him, but there's another guy, Gungor. Have you ever heard of Gungor?
I think maybe I have, just vaguely. Yeah, yeah. I might have
Yeah.
listened to one of his songs. Yeah.
So those guys, I think there are people within that genre who are pushing the artistic line, the artistic edge, and are trying to discover their spirituality and trying to discover their way.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting path, but it's not where I write anymore.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
No, I talk quite often to Brian Thiessen, who's
Yeah.
his
His last album was amazing. Like it was.
they're
Incredible.
and he's doing good. They're doing good work
Yeah.
and trying to be creative and pushing their own envelope and pushing their own edge, and I'm not here to badmouth anybody who's standing on the edge of their artistic goodness.
Yeah. But the point is, you evolved, you changed.
Yeah, that's right. I evolved. I changed.
I was listening to some Old Mare today. I
Oh,
love that album. Like I don't think there was a song on there that I didn't like, kind of, like
thank
a,
you, man.
yeah.
I appreciate that.
Pistols
Yeah,
at Dawn. I thought that was
yeah,
just classic Chris
yeah,
Janzen. That was
yeah,
really you. And then I love the Flood of 48. And I often think
yeah,
about it, living in the Fraser Valley and how you told the story. That was kind of when you mentioned Bob Dylan earlier, I thought, oh,
yeah.
I can see that influence
That's
there.
where that relationship comes into
Yeah.
play. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing about the Flood of 48 is, I found a box on top of a pile of garbage that said Canadian Red Cross BC Flood of 48, and I was like, what? Oh, there's a song there. So I
Yeah.
I took the box
Yeah.
and I wrote a song around it.
Cool.
So yeah,
Yeah. So I encourage people to look that song up, or I'll put links into the show notes and stuff later to those songs and how people can listen to them. Yeah, those are awesome. Um, what was another song I listened to recently? Or
well, Pistols at Dawn is a fantastic tune.
yeah,
I love that song, and one of the great things about that song is that I had the opportunity to record at Mushroom Mushroom Studios before. I think there might be still a studio in there now, but that was an iconic Vancouver studio that for
yeah,
years I drove past, and like Sarah McLachlan recorded there and Led
yeah,
Zeppelin had recorded there, and so that was like other great CanCon bands like Trooper and those April
yeah,
Wine and those kinds
yeah,
of bands played there too.
yeah,
But it was always a dream of mine from when I was a teenager
yeah.
to record in that space.
Oh, neat.
And through when we were recording that record, uh, Chris Michael,
Yeah,
who's a friend,
yeah,
he had an opportunity to get us in there, and so I jumped on it.
neat.
So that was a lot of fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
I love Chris. He helped Jessica record her one and only song.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
actually, her one and only individual song.
Okay.
She was in a sort of a, I don't know what they call themselves. It was a real kind of fusion type of band in Toronto, and they recorded a, a, a CD that did really well in Canada, actually. So
Yeah. They was it athletic athletic club or
yeah, I
so
can't remember. Oh man,
so she's gonna be like, come on,
she's gonna
Dad.
kill us. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Again, the show notes. The show notes will save us. We will,
Yes.
or our my aging mind will remember later on.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Um, and then you came out with this song called "Swimming." Just tell us the story behind that. Like, what was the inspiration behind doing that and recording again?
Yeah. So the the band that I'm in now is a band called Summerize,
Okay.
and so Summerize is actually just two guys. My good friend Jeremy K. David, who is a producer and a multi instrumentalist, and he's a guy that we've become really close friends over the last few years, and in the summertime we for the past 2 summers we've done a festival evening at the very beginning of summer where we do like a live show. We a couple of kegs of beer, and then we have a just a great band,
Hmm.
and we rent out this hall in Abbotsford here called Straighten Hall,
Oh, neat.
and we call it Straighten to Summer, and
That's great.
and then we did like Arcade Fire covers,
Mm.
and we did the war. Are you familiar with the War on Drugs?
No.
Yeah, the Pixies, and like
Yeah.
so not just like typical like party song covers, but like stuff that we liked, and
Yeah.
and so we finished the show last year, and we were talking about what we were going to do the next year, and I said, it's really great. Like this show is awesome, and we're having fun with it, but we should make some music by us, some original work, and so about 9 months ago now, we were like, okay, let's do it. He's got like I said, he's a multi-instrumentalist and a producer and stuff, and so he's got a studio set up at his place, and he said, well, let's just see where it goes.
Yeah.
And so he had some things going on some ideas, and I came in and just began to pull out my phone. I keep song notes on my phone, so if I'm out for a walk and then a line just kind of gets in there, I'll like stop, fire out the 2 lines, and just began to build these tunes. And so I began to pull up these songs, listen to that, and then sing some of these lines over top, and there was chemistry there. And so we ended up recording 6 songs.
Oh, neat.
And
so
then
there's more to come?
Yeah, there's more to come.
Right
more to come.
Good.
And so we released 2 songs. One called "Opens Up," "Flying Is Easy."
Yeah.
And the second one, swimming. Not singing, but I am singing.
You are singing while you're swimming. No, there's no swimming either.
There's no swimming either.
At least in the video.
No.
You sing about swimming.
Yeah, swimming, but swimming was never my strength.
You're right.
Yeah. And so we recorded those tunes, and we thought that those were kind of the ones to kind of maybe get people maybe somewhat interested.
Yeah,
we've had a little bit of traction, and it's been fun.
Cool.
We're kind of tentatively just putting it out there and not worrying about. We're not hanging our lives on it, but we would definitely take it where it goes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, let's play the song. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about it more. And this is always an interesting exercise here. So this is in beta.
Okay.
That's the excuse that techies use when things are still being tested. Oh. All right.
There you go.
Are you seeing my Google screen?
No.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Lots of fun.
Yeah, the interesting thing about swimming is I wrote it from a place of kind of like being a little bit older, and kind of coming back into playing music, and kind of like seeing certain opportunities kind of come and go, and saying, okay, well, these things fall through your fingers, and sometimes you don't know why, and so it's just sort of a personal reflection, maybe a bit of a dour one, but
okay, I've got it. So let's see what happens
awesome.
here. Yeah.
Okay.
All the things you could have been, put them all away again. A stronger man could get ahead, but that was yesterday, my friend. Everything you wanted, dangling from a thread. You keep waiting for it. She just keeps you waiting. Don't you wait, don't you wait, don't you wait, don't you wait for that moment. It's oxygen breath, the eyes open, the coming up for air. Don't you wait, don't you wait, don't you wait, don't you wait for that moment. It's oxygen breath, the eyes open, the coming up for air. All the things you could have seen, that's the thing you could have been. Boy, couldn't be a man. It jumped right out of your hands, nose out of the water, pull me up for air. Swimming was never my strength. My strength couldn't take me there. Don't you wait, don't you wait, don't you wait, don't you wait for that moment. It's oxygen breath, the eyes open, the coming up for air. Don't you wait, don't you wait, don't you wait, don't you wait for that moment. It's oxygen breath, the eyes open, the coming up for air. Don't you wait, don't you wait, don't you wait for that moment. It's oxygen breath, the eyes open, the coming up for air. Don't you wait, don't you wait, don't you wait, don't you wait for that moment. It's oxygen breath, the eyes open, the coming up for air.
There we go.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
So, what trail were you on there? Where did you film that?
Filmed that at Albert Dick Park, otherwise known as Molson Lake, here in Abbotsford.
Did they?
It's right by the airport.
Yeah. And was that your family van?
That was my family van. See, it's hip to be old like that. It's
Yeah.
just like, okay, what are we gonna do? Well, let's drive out there and walk around and take some shots.
Great.
So
did you guys do it together? Did someone help you with that, or did you? Do
Yeah.
it all
Well,
by
you
your
know
own?
what? We're kind of we're our own production company,
Yeah.
record company, produce like
Yeah.
PR company, like for all this stuff.
Well, like you were saying earlier, it's amazing what you can do these days on your own, right?
Yeah, you know, if you want to put your hand to it, everything is possible.
Yeah.
And even with your phone and stuff, like a lot of the promotional stuff,
Yeah.
that like on our Instagram and all that kind of thing. Those are all like free apps that you can like just put text over top of pictures, and having just a good eye for design
Yeah.
is is a huge part of it. And just
Sure.
it's been a lot of fun to this was as Jeremy and I have talked about it. It's a music project that turned into an AV project as well.
Those videos are a lot of work, hey? Yeah.
Yeah, they're a lot of work.
Yeah.
They take some doing. So
Yeah. Great. I love the song. And when did the chorus come to you, or what were you do? Yeah, where did that line come from?
It's one of those things. It's like we were working at the studio at his place, and we were like, and kind of as things were going, it was just like oxygen breath, the eyes open, the coming up for air, and like, oh yeah, don't you wait, and it's like, I thought to myself, life is so full of like these short moments, like just take hold of them, and don't look back, and just take those opportunities, because it's too short to dwell in the past and to dwell on the failures. So it kind of ends off like, it kind of has these two heavy lines, but then it kind of ends off in kind of a celebration disco.
Well, something that struck me was the mood of the song in the beginning is a little more serious, and then once you smile, you can tell, okay, it's going to get going, and it does become a little more celebratory. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely, like the way that we've put it out there to people is, it's like, it's a moody down tempo ambient song with a basement dance disco party at the end. So
yeah,
that's what we promote it to radio with.
It almost reminds you of some old Paul Jantz songs. Like,
there you go.
A little bit of that sound to it. No, but I really like it. It's cool. So what's next? What will you be releasing next, do you think?
Well, we've decided now that we're going to release the whole EP. So we're going to release all 4 songs.
Yeah.
Following this, and so right now we're putting together the campaign to put that out. What we've discovered in this process is that that putting singles to radio, like we're specifically targeting like college radio right now, because it's too difficult to without representation. It's a challenge to get into like the Peak or 88 indie like Toronto, or some CBC even. It seems like you need somebody who's in your corner, who's repping you.
Oh, yeah.
So what we're doing is we're just really pushing it to Spotify and Apple Music, of course, and and Bandcamp.
Yeah.
And then trying to get college radio on board. There more. College radio is a great transition place for bands that are just kind of trying to make their way. Just by nature of college radio, they're more adventurous, they're more rebellious. They're like, well, we'll take a chance on this. It doesn't matter, we'll do what we want to do. And I love that spirit. So so that's what we're doing. So the next 4 songs will be coming out, and then on our EP, which we're self-titled, we're Summerize.
Cool.
So,
well, it sounds like you're just having fun and holding it kind of loosely, and just seeing where it's going, and maybe making music just for the sake of making music, and doing what you enjoy. Yeah,
that's a huge part of it. It's like, let's be creative and just have fun with this, and then we'll take it wherever it goes.
Great. So where can people find out more about what's happening? I know, obviously they can Google you, or they can look you up on YouTube, And I'll have links in the show notes here. But
Yeah,
anything
I mean,
formal yet?
we do. We have a summarize .com.
Okay,
So we have a website,
great.
and we've got lyric videos on there, and we also have like a YouTube. So any sort of like if we end up doing shows, if like shows become available to be doing in the near future, we'll you'll be able to find them there. But
Yeah.
we're on all the social media stuff as well. So
Great.
we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, and we have a YouTube channel that we're working on. So the biggest thing for us is getting people just to listen to it.
Sure.
So if people like what they hear, follow it and subscribe and all that kind of thing.
And it's Summer Eyes, like the word
That's right.
summer and then EYES.com.
Yeah, that's right. Not
Yeah.
summarize,
Yeah.
but summer eyes.
Summer Eyes. I was trying to bring it up here, and I don't know what's going on with my internet, but it's not bringing it up. So, anyways, we won't try.
Oh, okay.
But it's probably just my internet. Good stuff.
Yeah, man. It's
Good. Yeah.
this is fun. This is great to be able to spend some time with you here.
You too. Good to catch up.
Yeah.
I know Kathleen, my spouse, she loves chatting with you today too as well. And,
Well, maybe one of these days when we're out in your neck of the woods, we'll have to go for a walk on the water there.
yeah, well, I know you like craft beer, right? So
That's right.
we've
It's actually that is one of the things I love in this life.
well, we have 6 breweries within walking distance here. So,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah, you have to come
Yeah.
check it out.
I have done that row.
You've done the row. We have a mutual friend. The first time we did that row, I won't out him here, but and the first time we did it, so we had a pint at every location. There was only 4 at the time, I think.
Yeah.
And we had a pint at every location. So it was a good learning lesson it was a good lesson to do tasters when you're doing the whole doing the whole
do flights.
What are they flights? They're 4-ounce glasses or whatever.
Do flights at all those stops.
Yeah, we were pretty happy at number 4. At Moody Ales.
which is a fantastic brewery. Shout out to Moody Ales.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they're
Great.
Boss Juice.
Yeah. We enjoy their Russian Imperial Stout that's aged in bourbon barrels.
Yeah, that's a
good
strong.
one.
That's a really strong one.
That's a strong one, and we finished with that one. And then stumbled home.
Yeah, good. That's good.
Yeah.
It makes the heart happy.
Yeah. Great. Well, thanks so much, Chris.
Thank you, Rod. Thank you so much for giving me a shout. I appreciate it a lot.